Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is Maria with Simplified Partners, and I'm excited to bring you this week's topic, which are 5 secrets to streamlining your e-commerce operations. So even if you're not maybe an e-commerce business, you can certainly learn from some of these tips that I'm going to share with you. But really, if you're a product-based business, this is directly for you, as we mainly service businesses like Shopify, Amazon, and retail businesses, so really product-based businesses. So before we dive into the information, I just want to mention that the time I'm recording this is in November. And in the month of November, if you're a product seller, you're typically gearing up for holiday sales. And so your mind is in the world of, making sure you have enough inventory and all of those good things. But I want to ask you a question. How is your accounting looking? Have you really been organizing your accounting? Have you made sure that everything is in place? Do you have your financial statements that you've been looking at monthly? Do you have your transactions flowing? Is everything correct? Well, if you are like, no, I've been doing it on my own, or I haven't even gotten around to getting accounting software, then stay tuned to the end of the video, because November is really a perfect month to get yourself caught up, get your business finances caught up before it's the end of the year. So hang with me. I'll give you some tips at the end of the video. So now this week's topic, again, is 5 secrets to streamlining your e-commerce operations for success. The first thing you want to do that can really help you is to automate your payout schedule. Now, let me just make sure that we're all on the same page. What is a payout schedule? Well, particularly as a product-based business, you're receiving funds from usually other sources. You typically don't receive funds directly from customers. What you're doing is you're receiving funds from PayPal, from Stripe, from Shopify Payments, from Amazon. You have these different platforms that are then paying you for those goods that have been purchased. Now, automating the payout is pretty simple. What that means is for every payment processor that you're using, you want to set up a schedule that's automatically paying you that payout. Now, before, it's not quite that simple, and let me explain kind of some tips for you on how to think through this. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you know what are all of your payment processors. So right now, if customers go to your Shopify site, or they go to Amazon and they purchase from you, what are all the ways that those customers can pay you? First, you've got to have that documented somewhere. Wherever you keep up with documentation of that nature, make sure that you and everybody on your team understands how you get paid, how customers pay you. Now, what you do next is it's going to depend on how your accounting is set up currently. So if you have an app such as A2X that you've connected to your QuickBooks account, then I'm going to recommend that you do a payout as often as you possibly can. So if your payment processor or your sales channel offers a daily payout, then certainly set it up on a daily payout, because you want to see that cash flow coming in on a regular basis. Now, if you don't have an app such as A2X connected to your accounting software, and if A2X, by the way, is something you've not heard about, see the description below. Well, I'll have a link and some more information to tell you about that. But if you don't have an integrator set up with your QuickBooks, I wouldn't suggest that you have a payout every day or as often as possible. Because what happens is, with an e-commerce business, that deposit comes into your bank account, and it's pretty difficult to have to reconcile that payment. As you know, there's revenue involved. There's also going to be discounts involved. There's refunds involved. And usually what will happen is you have to build a pretty complex journal entry to be able to account for everything. So if you have a daily payout, what you're really setting yourself up to do is have to create a journal entry every single day, and that really just creates a lot of work. So again, you can look at A2X as an integrator and really help you with that, but if you don't go that route, then you really don't want to have a payout that often. Of course, you're going to have to weigh out your cash flow needs, of course, and take that into consideration. So some things to think about, but automate your payouts, whether it's weekly, whether it's daily. Make sure, number one, you know all of the ways that you get paid, and number two, how often you have set up those payouts. The second secret to streamlining your e-commerce operations is going to be capturing the essential weekly tasks in a task management system. Let me say that again. What you want to do is capture the weekly essential tasks for your business in a task management system. Now, we're going to think through this a little bit. I want to go through this with you together. So, in your business as a whole, obviously there's a lot going on, right? There's a lot going on every day. There's a lot going on every week. What I want you to think about is this. What are the essential tasks that have to be carried out every week for your business to operate successfully? That's what I want you to think about. Again, there's a lot of things that can go on. There's a lot of things that do go on. But what are the things that have to happen? So here's some examples for an e-commerce business. You might need to check your inventory levels every week, or maybe every day, but at least every week. You do need to check inventory levels, right? That's pretty important. If you don't check inventory levels, you could have some issues with fulfillment. Another idea is you might need to, maybe you post daily on social media or you post weekly. Maybe you know that posting on a regular basis is leading more, you're getting more leads and you're getting more sales. So you say, yes, Maria, that's an essential thing. I have to be posting. Another example would be you need to pay your vendors, right? You need to pay your suppliers. You maybe need to do this on a weekly basis. That's pretty essential, right? If you don't pay your vendors, then you could have a problem with fulfillment. Another example, you might need to run payroll. Maybe you run payroll every week or run payroll every other week. So what you want to do is have a way, if you don't already, to pull out the essential weekly things that you must do. And really, I think about it as like all the noise of your business. How do you pull the essential things up and make them visible to you among all of the other things? The way that you can do that very easily is by implementing a task management system. Now, this isn't anything, it does not have to be anything fancy. I'm going to tell you my recommendations on what I've used because I have used them all. One thing that you want to be able to do is use a task management system that's going to make it easy for you to create the same task every week. Because in this example, we're talking about a weekly task. So that's an example of a recurring task. So basically, in a task management system, you could set up a task that says run payroll, and as soon as you complete the task in that system, it's going to automatically create that task for the next week. That's really what you need to do to try to automate as much of this as you possibly can. Now, again, to take it a step further, if you do a lot of these admin things on your own as a small business owner, the quicker that you can set a recurring task up, the faster you're going to be able to delegate that task to someone else. Because by the fact of putting it in a task management system helps you to not have to then remember it or have to write it down for someone else. It's already there. So some systems such as Asana and Monday.com unfortunately don't make this very easy, or you have to pay for like a paid plan in order to be able to just get a simple task to recur. What I recommend is a system like Trello. My favorite though is ClickUp that will allow you to do this. So if you need help with task management systems, see the description below where I have some more information for you and also give you some links to how you can try out ClickUp completely for free. So definitely want to think about setting those up. The third secret to streamlining your e-commerce operations is to review your inventory purchases by your suppliers. I can't tell you how important that this is. As a product-based business, you know that your goods, your cost of goods is probably your top expense in your business. And it's really important that you give this adequate time and attention. What I would recommend is that you look at this now. So if you're watching this in real time, you need to look at this in the month of November And it might be too late for you to maybe make some adjustments, but if nothing else, you want to be able to look over the supplier list and maybe make some notes for next year or for the next time that you're going to place an order. So what are you looking at this for? What are you looking at your suppliers? Well, here's some examples. What vendors or what suppliers give you great customer service? Which vendors or suppliers don't give you good customer service? What suppliers give you great payment terms? What suppliers give you discounts? Do they give you any type of referral, any kind of benefit or additional value that a supplier would provide you? Think through your list, or look through your list and do that. What vendors do you sell through the best? That's one of the most important things you can understand is, of all my suppliers, who do I sell through the fastest? Who am I selling through? Not so well. What you want to do with the ones that you're not selling as well, can you go back to this time last year, this time 2 years ago, and compare that sell through with prior years? You want to put that vendor or that supplier on the maybe list if you continue to see that you're not selling through what you want to, because again, you're having to put those products on sale and really eat into the profit. And so again, looking like you might not have done this for a while. So make today the day that you go through this. And I would say monthly, but if you can do it quarterly, that would also be great. A couple more things you can think about in this exercise is, what vendors or suppliers do I frequently get requests for? So you might have customers that come in and ask for other products or, related products to this same supplier. Key into that and see if maybe you can purchase more from that supplier, and then what benefits you're going to get from that supplier by carrying more inventory from them. So those are some tips on reviewing your inventory purchases by your suppliers. One thing I want to mention, and you might be like, yes, I already know that, but I just want to call this out because it's so important, is as the business owner of a product-based business, remember that you are the chief product officer. So not only are you the CEO of your business, but you're the CPO of your business. You are the product officer. And so sometime in your month, or in at least, I would say every couple of months, you have to put on the hat of the chief product officer and really think through these things about the goods that you're supplying, the sell-through of those goods, the relationships with your suppliers, and all of that is so, so important. So, chief product officer, make sure you make some time for it every so often, as often as you can. The fourth secret to streamlining your e-commerce operations is your shipping and handling as a profit center. What you want to think about with this is it's definitely going to help your business be more efficient. If you know that the shipping and handling that you're charging is a profit center for your business. Now, this is actually pretty easy to figure out. If you've been using accounting software, and if you've been categorizing everything appropriately, then as you know, shipping and handling is a source of revenue. So most e-commerce sellers are charging for shipping and handling. So when you charge your customer, that's actually income for you. But then you're also paying for the shipping and handling. So for example, let's say that you get somebody that purchases from you on Shopify. And the total price that they paid you, let's say, was $60. But $50 of that was the product cost, and to keep the numbers simple, $10 of it was shipping and handling. So when you are working and doing your accounting work, then your accountant or yourself, if you're doing it yourself, should be allocating $50 to revenue for the product, and then also the $10 for shipping and handling. Well, then let's say that you actually had to pay $8 to have it shipped. You've then made a profit of $2. So you want to look to, number one, make sure, are you creating that income for shipping and handling? Is that being captured as an income for you? And then what is the expense of your shipping and handling? And then what's the difference between those two numbers, right? Are you being profitable? This is something I've seen a lot with clients that just weren't paying attention and they didn't realize that maybe their shipper had gone up on fees, and they were stuck with, they just didn't realize it, that they were actually losing money on the shipping and handling. So if you're losing money on the shipping and handling, then obviously your profits for your business are going to be lower, and that might be something that you want to take a look at and adjust. So help yourself be more efficient by making sure that you are profitable as much as you can be on your shipping and handling. The fifth secret to streamlining your e-commerce operations is reviewing your customer journey and your customer retention strategy. Now, if you're not familiar with what's a customer retention strategy, I don't really know or have really thought about this, or maybe you have in the past, or you have one and maybe you want to learn about some ways to make it better. Here are some tips I want you to think about. Customer retention is about what are the things you're doing overall to help the relationship with your client. So here's some ideas. How often do you stay in touch with customers after they make a purchase? Do you have a weekly or monthly newsletter that you send out with a compelling discount code, maybe for an upcoming holiday season or a birthday special or something like that? Do your customers ever hear from you after they make a purchase? If not, one idea is to start an email list. Start thinking about what your target customers, your current customers, and maybe the new future customers would want to have. And think about what content you could provide them in an email. Do your customers currently know about similar products that they might enjoy that are similar to what they've already purchased? And then how would you share that with them? Do you offer coupons or discount codes? If you have a brick and mortar business, what can you do to engage your customers and have them come by your store? Reasons to drop in, reasons to make another purchase. And then what can you do to make yourself stand out? And this is tough, right? Especially if you're online. How do you make yourself stand out as an online or as a brick and mortar business this holiday season? So even if it's not the holidays as you're listening to this, what's the next upcoming season? And how can you make yourself stand out? What's something different that you can provide? Is there a service that maybe you could attach along with a product to make your product seemingly more valuable? So just some different things to consider there. So there you have it. Those are the 5 secrets to help you streamline your e-commerce operations. All right, so thank you for hanging with me till the end of this video. If you remembered in the beginning, I mentioned that I would be sharing with you some tips if you have not really gotten yourself organized for 2024 and you're looking at the end of the year and thinking, oh no, I don't want to be overwhelmed. Well, I don't want you to be overwhelmed either. And that's why before the end of the year, it's really a perfect time for you to get your finances organized. So here's just 3 quick tips I'm going to give you. 3 super, super quick tips. Number 1, get an accounting software. If you've been trying to track things in a spreadsheet or maybe on a piece of paper and your business is growing and you have more than, I would say, probably 30 transactions every single month, it's really going to be worth it to have accounting software. Now, there's a lot of software out on the market, and some of my most popular videos on my channel have been me doing some comparisons of different accounting softwares. And here I am 5 years into my business, and I'm going to tell you that my 2 favorites have really always been my 2 favorites, and it's QuickBooks Online and it's FreshBooks. Now, because this particular video is for e-commerce sellers, I really am going to drive you to choose QuickBooks Online. FreshBooks is a great accounting platform, but it's really not geared to e-commerce sellers, and some of the integrations that I recommend that you use don't work with FreshBooks yet. They only work with QuickBooks Online. Now, if you don't have accounting software, then certainly you can see the links below. You can schedule a free discovery call with me. It's 20 minutes. And one thing that we do is actually help small businesses set up their accounting software. We also are a QuickBooks Pro advisor, and we can extend our discount to you for 6 months. If you would like to work with us, we're happy to do that. And just as a thank you for working with us, we don't mind doing that at all. Now, once you have accounting software, either working with us or you already have accounting software, you might not know what to do next. You might be thinking, well, there's a whole lot to do in here and I don't really know how to do it. So there's a couple of tips. One thing that you can do to make your life a lot easier is make sure that you go into your accounting software and you set up your bank accounts. So what you're able to do is log into your accounting software and connect your bank and your credit card accounts. What that's going to do is make your life a lot easier because it's going to pull all of the transactions from those accounts into the accounting software. So then what happens is then you have to kind of put it all in the accounting software. So you have to say, okay, this amount was revenue, this amount was an expense, this is how much, this was for my advertising, this was for payroll. And so you kind of have to sort through everything. Now, most of the time we hear from clients that are business owners that say, I just don't have time. There's so much that I have to do. Again, reach out to us using the link below. You can schedule a free discovery call and we'll just talk to you. We'll just get to know you and get to know your needs. And you might need a cleanup. You might need some help with somebody just cleaning up your accounting record and making sure that it's correct. The third thing I want to tell you is not to forget about year end. So what is year end exactly? Well, year end is sort of a group of things that we do here at Simplified Partners, but it includes just making sure that your books are ready for tax time. And that means that you have to have your accounting updated through December 31st of this year. So if you're listening to this in 2024, that would be 2024 or whatever year, you want to have all of your bookkeeping completed for the end of that year. And the reason that's important is because when you go to file taxes for the next year, that you know that your numbers are right, your revenue's correct, your expenses are correct, all of the different things that you spent money on that year are correct. And so again, if you need help knowing how to wrap up all of that year-end stuff, or you're not really sure what's included in year-end, then certainly reach out. We also have some other resources in the links below that you can check out. So just feel free to go there. I also have lots of articles on my blog that you can check out with some different topics. So thanks again for tuning in to this video, and I look forward to talking with you next week. Take care.